Howdy, y'all. My name is Sharik Khan. I'm the founder of Christ Underground, and this is how bold churches are reaching the most devout Muslims in their cities. ChristUnderground.org is our website for our ministry, our nonprofit, and school.com/Christ is our global training and discipleship community. More on that later. By the end of this video, you're going to learn how to confidently reach Muslims, how your congregation can be equipped, how Muslim evangelism teams actually work best, and how we can partner in this extremely relevant, extremely urgent gospel movement towards the Muslim world. So I want to be super clear on who this is and isn't for. This is for church congregations, evangelism teams, missionary organizations, campus ministries, apologetics communities, mission-minded Christians, and action takers. This isn't for people looking to debate Islam online without loving Muslims, churches that only want awareness but not engagement in their local Muslim communities, Christians unwilling to study, train, and step into real evangelism and discipleship, leaders looking for political commentary instead of missionary work, and this is definitely not for anyone more interested in criticizing Muslims than reaching them and discipling them into Christ. So more about me, you guys connect with me on my social media to see some of our work. We've gained over 400,000 followers. We run a content machine that has over 100 million person yearly reach and engagement. And of course, these numbers are cool, but we have infinite faith that the Muslim world is going to know Jesus Christ fully and thoroughly and in a way in these next years that it really never has. More information on doctrine for Christ Underground is available at christunderground.org/statement of faith. We do get a lot of questions, so I did want to provide that resource to you. We are a Protestant ministry. Christ Underground, guys, we have 9,000 laborers in over 100 different countries. This is actually our global community map available in our school, and we have 40 Muslim evangelism teams, and we're growing so rapidly. We've had major collaborations with CBN News, Upper Room, For Liberty and Justice, Elevate Life, Iran Alive Ministries. We've actually brought the content that we're showing you today to Turning Point USA, CBN, all of these areas to actually build courses and build conviction in how we can evangelize the Muslim world. And hopefully our next major collaboration is you. So let's read the Quran, and I want you to tell me what stands out to you. So this is the story of Moses at the well in Midian. And starting at Surah 28, verse 26, one of the two daughters suggested, "Oh, my dear father, hire him. The best man for employment is definitely the strong and trustworthy one." The old man proposed, "I wish to marry one of these two daughters of mine to you, provided that you stay in my service for 8 years. If you complete 10, it will be a favor from you, but I do not wish to make it difficult for you. Allah willing, you will find me an agreeable man." Moses responded, "Then it is settled between you and I. Whichever term I fulfill, there will be no further obligation on me, and Allah is a witness to what we said." When Moses had completed the term and was traveling with his family, he spotted a fire on the side of Mount Tur. He said to his family, "Stay here, for I have spotted a fire. Perhaps from there I can bring you some directions or a torch from the fire so you may warm yourselves." Did you catch it? What about this one? This is Saul and King David in the Quran. When Saul marched forth with his army, he cautioned, "Allah will test you with a river. So whoever drinks his fill from it is not with me, and whoever does not taste it except to sip from the hollow of his hands is definitely with me." They drank their fill, except for a few. When he and the remaining faithful with him crossed the river, they said, "Now we are no match for Goliath and his warriors." But those believers who were certain they would meet Allah reasoned, "How many times has a small force vanquished a mighty army by the will of Allah? And Allah is always with the steadfast." When they advanced to face Goliath and his warriors, they prayed, "Our Lord, shower us with perseverance, make our steps firm, and give us victory over the disbelieving people." So they defeated them by Allah's will, and David killed Goliath. What's going on here? Are you catching it? Was Moses the one who had to serve for two wives in the Old Testament? Did he have his family with him when he was traveling to the burning bush? Was Saul the one, the Israelite, the king, who had to test his army with a river? And did they persevere and beat Goliath's army? And then David killed Goliath? What if I told you that every single story in the Quran is like this? Some of them are just mixed up like you saw with Moses and Jacob and Saul and Gideon in the previous examples, but there's some really big ones with extreme theological implications, like them taking the story of Abraham casting out Hagar and Ishmael, the journey from Gerar to Beersheba actually getting repurposed 800 miles down to Mecca so they could build the Kaaba. And that's the essence of our approach. So the opportunity is that there's 2 billion Muslims. There's only 7 million in the US, only 1.5% of our population. But we've seen just how dedicated and how devout they are in recent news. And the truth is, there's 53 plus Muslim majority countries in the world. This is truly the largest harvest available in our world today. And the solution is to undermine their authority. If we can undermine the Quran using our scriptural basis, we can actually lead Muslims out of Islam. And then because we use our scriptures to deconstruct the authority of the Quran, we can actually lead them right into a believing faith in Jesus Christ, because they'll have conviction in what the real, truthful scripture is. So in a 3-step process, first we want to deconstruct the authority of the Quran using the Old Testament, then reconstruct biblical truth foundations using that same Old Testament. And only after we've done that can we share the gospel with Muslims using the New Testament. Okay? So first, we're going to deconstruct with the Torah. And I want to introduce you to the details of our approach that we're going to be equipping your congregation on. These are 5 core beliefs that all Muslims have. The first one is that the Torah was corrupted. The second belief is that the author of the Quran and the Bible are the same. We use a narrative approach like I showed you in those previous slides to actually attack that straight on. The third and fourth one are devastating, that Abraham and Ishmael actually built the Kaaba, and that Muhammad was an Ishmaelite. And with those same stories that we have in our Bible, we can disprove these points and show that Muhammad actually was never related to Abraham. And finally, that Muhammad was biblically commissioned in the same way that Moses was. We actually have a parallel story for that as well. After we attack all 5 of those beliefs, which, by the way, if just one of those beliefs fall, a Muslim will not follow Islam. And we provide an overwhelming amount of evidence for all of those. So after we do that, now we can reconstruct their faith with the Torah, with 5 new beliefs that they need to actually become a follower of Christ. The first one is that corruption and death resulted from Adam's sin. The second belief is that blood atonement is necessary. Third, we dive into theophanies and God taking on human form over and over again in the Old Testament and the Torah. Fourth, we'll show them the suffering servant prophecy and other messianic prophecies that Christ fulfilled. And only then, after laying the entire foundation for them, do we invite Muslims to the gospel, to following Jesus Christ as the beautiful gift from the Lord. And it's all done lovingly. Here are the biblical foundations of why we use this approach. It's all done lovingly. It's all using Islamic stories and biblical stories, the narrative comparison focused on the most minute details, and it equips ex-Muslims to fulfill the Great Commission, because we're giving things that their sheikhs and imams and devout leaders can't answer. And after discipling a Muslim in this way, like we've seen in our ministry, like we've seen in my own personal life with my own family, because I've learned this methodology, I can now take it to my family to help disciple them into Christ. And we can fulfill the Great Commission. And guys, we do all of this without touching politics, morality, ethics, and war. We have tons of private testimonials available upon request. Obviously, this goes way more in depth, but this is just an introduction video to show you our approach more in depth, okay? So what's next? Well, we want to come to your congregation. We would love to connect with you. We would love to be with your congregation, to lead them in this Muslim evangelism training. We've done this in congregations all over the nation. We will then lead your congregation in a real Muslim outreach event. We've done this in Toronto, then posting a booth outside of Toronto Muslim Fest where 10,000 Muslims were, and we ran evangelism that entire weekend. We'll be heading to Phoenix for Arab Festival, another huge Muslim outreach event. So we'll actually be doing park outreach in Dearborn, and we have so many events and so many processes that I want to show you. So it starts with us training your congregation, and then we'll show you where the proof is that it's in the pudding of the master key, and that will actually lead evangelism events with you. After that, we have our school community, our global discipleship platform, where we have tons of coursework and live calls. We actually go live 5 times a week, and we actually have a WhatsApp community where we can keep the momentum going. We want to launch Muslim Evangelism Teams in every single city, and we can actually provide a full line of support with leaders. They're great communities. They honestly kind of run themselves, and we provide the online, ongoing support through our school community so that you as a pastor or a leader or honestly an evangelist can trust that we can support you guys. It's not just a one-time thing, but we're here to disciple people specifically on how to reach Muslims. So what's next? We need to get your congregation equipped. Let's partner. You can submit the contact form at christunderground.org or email us at info@christunderground.org, or honestly talk to whoever sent you this video. Y'all, I thank you so much for your time here to actually explore this with us. And I honor you all for wanting to reach, in my opinion, one of the biggest harvests available. The harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. And I bless y'all in Jesus' name. I hope that we can collaborate soon.